YouTube, what's going on, guys? It's Kai. We're back with another video. Today is the VS deck profile and the release of our newest deck build pack, the DWS. And a lot of people have been requested for this and Trap Tricks, but Trap Tricks we have a little bit problem with the deck building. Of course, if you guys noticed but last night I uploaded the wrong video with the wrong combo. I guess sorry about that, and yeah, it was a mistake, but we'll upload it by the end of this week, so be sure to stay tuned. And for now, let's go through this deck. This I would personally say is gonna be one of the best for the next format, despite what my list has to offer. But until then, I'm still have a good eyes on this deck. After testing it like last night with our good friend Actis, yes, it's proven to be one of the contenders, top one, and it's forced to reckon with. So without further ado, let's go into the profile. This is like the, I would say, prototype build. We're not really that consistent yet, but it really has its own consistency. So for starters, we have the Rasen. This is your searchers. It searches the monsters, and actually all of them share the same seconds effects. It's a quick effect. You can reveal a number of monsters from your hand. Depending on the attribute, you resolve the following effects. So mostly the reviews like Earth, Fire, and Dark, and all share the same attributes. So for this, it searches some monsters other than itself, and you review a Fire. Is not affected. It cannot be destroyed by card effect. If Fire and Dark, it destroys the whole column. Same as Magnite, but quick effect. So of course you play 3. And for this is the Cyber Dragon, except it's not a conditional summon. You have to review it, and it prevents from destroyed by battle and destroys the whole column of spell traps. So this is to clear floodgates, and it clears yourself as well. So be mind to that. You can also destroy your own if it happens to have the same spell trap as columns. And the second best summon is Dr. Madlove. This is spell traps, and it compulsory. I'll show you guys in the side that why we play this, but we didn't use that site. So in theory it works, in sometimes it doesn't, so in the end we scrap the ideas. Its first review is if you review a dark, choose one opponent's monster to decrease its attack defense by 500s, or review a dark or earth, you bounce a monster with the lowest defense. Later I'll show you guys why this is one of the insane things to do. And for the big guys, we have 1 Varius and 2 Boger. Boger is just insane. He draws your cards. These 2 are the only ones that will exchange from the field by returning them to the hand, and also different types. You can return the same names and some of the same names. You can do that. Well, for heavy Boger, you review a dark to draw a card. You review Earth and Fire, you deal 1005 of damage. It's useful during times, and also during drag games. You can't deal damage to something like Runix or Labyrinth. Use it to burn the life. And for this is a complex one. You have to review 3 attributes to pop a card. It doesn't really that hard, because if you live through a turn 4, you can do this very easily. And also being a non-target remover is kind of nice. You can pop your own card as well. And if you review an Earth, you face up card can be affected by opponent's effect, which is himself. So you can review anything and protects him until the next turn. It's a 3k beater. So that's all for the VS monster. It's quite a numbers, only like 11, I would say. And for the extra package would be Fenrir and Riceheart. Riceheart is because it's a level 4. You can make rank 4 plays, and also it's a Fire. You can combo with them, and this is just there for Riceheart and for the interruptions. Of course, you played it. And for the hand traps, just basics. You can review these as well. This is a Fire, and this is not to mention. And this, for being a dragon, you can search this. It's kind of nice. And yeah, they're just a beaters. More monsters hands is nice, so you have to play them. 9 hand traps. For the spells, the best spell of the deck, Stake Your Soul. you can review a monster from your hand and then special summon one VS monster with a different attribute from the deck, and during the end phase return it to the hands. So you can review all of this. This is all you can review, and then special whichever you want. A lot of choices. If you review Maxi, you get to summon this, and also this as well. If you review Ash, you can summon whatever you want. And the fun combo about this, you can activate this, and then you review, like, let's say you review the Ash, and then you summon this effect to search one. You basically +2 in the process. You didn't lose anything, although it's not a VS name, so your Mad Love can search it, so bear in mind about that. And of course you play 3, and the actual VS spell is 1 Continue and 1 Spiral. This is the Book of Moon or Book of Eclipse. You can target one VS monster control, change its positions, and for each you change, you get to flip a card face down. You can flip opponent's monster for interrupting them from being combo, for being link, etc. And this is the monster you brought to the deck. So you only play 1 because you not necessarily link off your monster unless they are being destroyed, or you less attribute. You can use this to add instead of special summon. So both quick spells, so you only play 1. And for the draw spells, searches, not 3 because you still want your links to be in your extra deck sometimes. This is sometimes better than Prosperity because Prosperity is just +1. This, you get to bait your opponent for being ashed. If they ash, or this go live. If they don't, you can +2. Yes, it does clock with the Heavy Bogre, but who cares? You're just gonna plus during opponent's turns. It's not that hard, and if you activate it during your turn, it doesn't matter as well. During your draw phase, you have summon this, and then you use effect to draw 1. You draw this. During your main phase, you activate this, so it doesn't clock. So it means you get to draw 3 in the process if you have this to draw, and then you have this. And this for the Fenrir's, and 2 Durandal. This is for Rasen because it's such a level 5 for lower Fyro Warrior, which is this guy, and it equips to any monster on the field. You can equip to your opponents as well, and you do get to search this, or when this equip card is sent to the graveyard, you can summon level 6 or lower Flame Attributes Warrior from the graveyard. You can summon this, but you can't special summon monster until end of turn except Warrior, which doesn't matter. If you want a plus, you just use this. And then 2 Callby for hand traps. And then the last card would be 3 Impermanence and 1 Trinity Burst. Trinity Burst is, you can special up to 2 from the hand with a different attributes by targeting 1 VS monster control, but the effects are negated. And during the end phase, bounce it to hand. If you summon this way, you can target that number of card opponent control to the hands. This is a compulse. And what's funny about this card is if you activate this, you special 2 from the hand, the effect negated, and then you use their other ones, the effects to return them to the hand to summon again, and you're still alive. That's deck 4张是吧？4张吗？Yes, that's all for the main deck. 40 cards, basic simple consistency. And for the extra decks, actually, the only matter is these 3s. It's not a VS name, so also be aware about it. And this card can be used as link materials. And once per turn, you can either add 1 VS monster from graveyard to your hands, or special from 1 from the hand. It's an extender and endurance cards, and not to mention, it's a endurance plus. You special from hand, you gain the plus. You add from grave to have the exchange effect from the hand. And also, it discards on the field, your opponent can only attack monster with the highest attacks, regardless of the names. You have to Yes, he does need the VS, but he is not, so you have other VS monster on the field. It go lives. And the other is depends, you can play wherever you want. Is just for in cases are the rank 4s, the Yugiohs. These can be changed into like the Zodiac package for Zeus, but you play this, sometimes you like wanted to, if it's the something like Runic would be much more better, because if you summon this after you beta your opponent's stuff, like you use up all your VS, use this to bounce the field, or you just AoE their own field. the extra decks is not that complicated. You can play whatever you want as long as you remember to put the link ones to there for the side decks. 2 draws, not 3 because it's a win. It doesn't really that impactful when it comes to side decks. And also these cards only against Tri or Purely. If Purely don't know how to deal with it, they're eating Lockburst, they're gonna lose. They can't add that much. And the back row hits, of course, there's not much to say about it. And the one-off, because this deck doesn't worry about clearing fields. All you want is just the endurance. And this is of course for the Ghost Seconds, it's for Purely's and Exo Sisters. But I doubt that we use this against Exo Sisters. And for the Floodgates and the back row hits as well. This is actually God card in this deck. All your cards are different types and attributes. You summon all your stuff, you flip this. Most of the decks just have a hard time dealing with it. Okay, that's all for the main decks. Now for the basic stuff, I think there's not much to say about the basic stuff. What normally you just do is just summon the searchers, edge whichever we want, and then link it away to become the links one, and then just goes off. And to mention about the Mad Love is, if you have Mad Love on the field and you give your opponents, maybe you give your opponents a Kaiju's, then you use the Mad Love's effect to reveal the both attributes, you bounce it back to hands, and then you summon again. And this is used to summon via the effects of the Stake Your Souls. You can still summon again, and then you search just whichever you're missing. For example, you search for Various, and then since you reveal 2, you can destroy the whole column. So the Kaiju you sent it just now will be popped, and you still have the 2 monsters to link it away to add it back, and then you still get these 2 to exchange and get the pluses. That's the good use of Kaiju in this decks. You can recycle, or you can bounce the Kaiju backs, and then you use it against next turn, and then you're playing, of course, Dogaran, the Kaiju with the lowest attacks, lowest defense to goes off. So that's all for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll upload it after the next ban list, I will say. We'll still be continuing forecasting this deck because it's still a lot of demands. And you guys anything want to ask me or any rulings you got, please let me know down in the comments below. We'll show you guys this weekend.